Scroll through social media and you'll see martial arts masters performing flawless techniques against compliant attackers. That footage is not combat skill. It is cooperative choreography, and it will not work when someone punches you. Every viral clip follows the same pattern. The attacker moves slowly and telegraphs every action. They freeze mid-strike to allow the master to execute a complex trap or throw. The attacker's job is to be a prop. They do not resist, adapt, or counter. The master's response is a pre-rehearsed set piece. Each movement requires the attacker to hold position and cooperate at every step. This is what we call isolated combative conditions, or IC. One predictable input leads to one prearranged output. The priority is visual appeal, not combat effectiveness. These clips demonstrate exceptional skill in cooperative performance. They do not demonstrate skill in fighting. The deception lies in the claim that this is self-defense. You need to see the difference between a stage show and a real fight. Here is the critical test. Ask this question of any social media master. Where is the footage of you applying these techniques against a skilled, resisting opponent? Where is the sparring video? Where is the match against a boxer, a wrestler, or a mixed martial artist? If the system is universally effective, why do they almost never show it working in random combative conditions, or RCC? The answer is simple. The techniques do not work under pressure. The complex motor chains fall apart when someone punches back, pulls away, or counters. On the rare occasion you find a demo master in a sparring match, they abandon every flashy technique from their videos. They resort to basic punches and frantic grappling. The viral content is a marketing product, not a representation of usable skill. They sell fantasy because reality is less glamorous. This is not false advertising. It is dangerous pedagogy. It builds a false map of reality in your brain. You train your nervous system to expect a compliant attacker who freezes at the right moment. When a real person attacks you with aggression and speed, your mental map bears no relation to the actual event. You freeze. You execute a failed technique. You leave yourself vulnerable. You also waste training time. Hours spent mastering a 10-step disarming technique against a static knife thrust are hours you did not spend developing timing, distance management, and the ability to handle a resisting opponent. This style of instruction discourages critical thinking. It appeals to tradition or secret lineage. It stops you from asking the simple question, can we test this with more resistance? You need to train for reality, not for a script. You can cut through the noise with a simple checklist. First, look for resistance. Is the training partner actively trying to counter or make the technique fail? If they stand still and receive the technique, it is a demo, not training. Second, look for variability. Does the drill change? Do attacks come from different angles with different timing? If every repetition looks identical, you are watching choreography. Third, look for pressure testing. Is there footage of this person applying their skills against a fully resisting opponent? If the answer is no, the system has not been validated. You do not need to follow a lineage. You need to follow evidence. Effective combat mechanics are simple principles applied under pressure. The flashy, complex techniques you see online are designed for views, not for fights. Train accordingly. Effective self-defense does not require complex traps or spinning kicks. It requires simple, high-percentage mechanics trained under realistic conditions. You need to learn distance management. You need to develop timing. You need to practice against a partner who resists and adapts. You need to stress test every technique you train. If a technique fails under pressure, you discard it. You do not polish it for a camera. You build a skill set based on what works when someone is trying to hurt you. That means drilling basic strikes, footwork, and takedown defense against a live opponent. It means sparring regularly. It means asking hard questions about every technique you learn. The social media masters will not give you this. They sell fantasy. You need to buy reality. Train smart. Train under pressure. Train to survive. Stop watching choreographed demonstrations. Start asking for evidence. Your safety depends on training that works against a resisting opponent.